For 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with said election. The case is a scam. Trump is what, 78 years old? You think he knows he can double tap the shift button on his phone? He went on about crowd size and how Biden is to blame for his crowds not being big, and then his teleprompter went out.
Ever wonder what it's like inside Trump's brain? Imagine a goldfish swimming in a bowl of orange jello, forgetting its own name every 3 seconds. That's pretty much what we're dealing with, folks. Jimmy Kimmel just took us on a wild ride through Trump's greatest flip-flops. And boy, is it a doozy. From loving Obamacare to hating it faster than you can say coffee, Trump's memory seems about as reliable as a chocolate teapot in a sauna. Jimmy Kimmel's been at it again, folks. This time he's zeroed in on Trump's wild flip-flops about Obamacare. It's like watching a ping pong match, but instead of a ball, it's Trump's opinions bouncing back and forth. Remember when Trump used to rant about Obamacare like it was the worst thing since unbuttered toast? He'd go on, calling it a disaster and promising to replace it with something much better. But hold on to your mega hats, because Donnie Diapers has done a complete 180. Now, in a twist that's got everyone's head spinning, Trump's suddenly claiming he saved Obamacare. Yeah, you heard that right. The same guy who wanted to toss it in the political trash can is now trying to take credit for keeping it alive. It's like watching a toddler insist they didn't eat the cookies while their face is smeared with chocolate. Kimmel, being the comedy genius he is, dug up a treasure trove of clips showing Trump praising and trashing Obamacare faster than you can say fake news. In one clip, Trump's calling it a catastrophe, and in the next, he's practically giving it a bear hug. It's enough to give you whiplash. The audience was in stitches as Kimmel did his best Trump impression, flipping back and forth on Obamacare like a malfunctioning light switch. I hate it, I love it, I hate it, I saved it, Kimmel mocked. His hair swooped into a perfect orange comb over. The crowd went wild, probably because they couldn't decide whether to laugh or cry at the absurdity of it all.
Raving and ranting about the media and immigrants and windmills again. He hates windmills. He complained in front of a bunch of Teamsters about how much he hates paying overtime. The case is a scam. Trump is what, 78 years old? You think he knows he can double tap the shift button on his phone?
They rigged the election. The election was rigged. I didn't rig it, they did.
He's actually right about some of that. He didn't rig the election. He tried to rig the election.
But Kimmel wasn't done yet. He joked that Trump's memory is like a goldfish, but that's actually an insult to goldfish. At least they can remember things for more than 3 seconds. Trump's memory seems to reset every time he opens his Twitter app. We were treated to even more clips of Trump contradicting himself, each one more ridiculous than the last. It was like watching a greatest hits compilation of political flip-flops with Trump as the star performer. One minute he's swearing to repeal Obamacare on day one, the next he's bragging about how he protected it. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a Mar-a-Lago golf cart. Kimmel, building up to his punchline, teased the audience with hints of what was coming. You know, he said, leaning in conspiratorially, Trump claiming he saved Obamacare is like saying he invented the hamburger. The audience held their breath, waiting for the kicker. Actually, Kimmel continued, he'd probably claim he invented both. And the telescope, and electricity, and breathing. Well, folks, Trump's debate prep team decided to embark on a mission that's about as likely to succeed as teaching a rhino to pirouette. Their brilliant idea: make the grumpy Trumpy look happy. I know, it sounds like the setup for a bad joke, but trust me, the punchline is even worse. Picture this: Trump, the king of scowls and Twitter tantrums, trying to plaster on a smile while discussing serious issues. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, if the car was made of orange Play-Doh. Jimmy Kimmel, our late night hero, couldn't resist taking a swing at this comedy goldmine. Kimmel treated his audience to a parade of clips showcasing Trump's attempts at looking cheerful during debates. Let me tell you, it was about as natural as a penguin in a tutu trying to blend in at a flamingo party. The audience was in stitches as Kimmel mimicked Trump's strained attempts at appearing joyful. Look at him, Kimmel chuckled. He's got the expression of a constipated bulldog trying to smile for the camera. But the hilarity didn't stop there. Kimmel rolled out more footage of Trump mangling names and facts while desperately clinging to his happy facade. It was like watching a toddler try to eat spaghetti with chopsticks. Messy, confusing, and oddly fascinating. Folks, Kimmel quipped, Trump's body language during these debates is so tense, he makes a coiled spring look relaxed. The late-night host then built up the anticipation, hinting at Trump's next debate disaster.
For 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with said election. They disobeyed their own rule in favor of complete and total election interference. I did nothing wrong. They did.
They rigged the election. I didn't rig the election. They rigged the election. What they do is they rig the election, and then they go around getting people and persecuting people and prosecuting people that did nothing wrong.
You think this is bad? Kimmel teased? Wait till you see what happens when they try to teach him empathy. It'll be like trying to explain calculus to a goldfish. But the real kicker came when Kimmel summed up Trump's debate prep. You know, he said, leaning in conspiratorially, Trump's debate prep is like trying to teach a rhinoceros to do ballet. You can put a tutu on it, but it's still gonna charge around and break things. The audience roared with laughter, probably picturing a rhinoceros in a tutu, which, let's be honest, still looks more natural than Trump attempting to smile. Kimmel wasn't done yet though. He couldn't resist throwing in one more zinger. Watching Trump try to look happy while discussing serious issues, he said, is like watching a cat try to enjoy a bath. Sure, he might be smiling, but you can tell he'd rather be anywhere else. Alright folks, let's talk about Trump's latest memory mishap. You thought forgetting names was bad. Wait till you hear about the time he forgot his own master plan. It's like the world's worst magician, forgetting how his trick works mid-performance. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the incredible disappearing Project 2025. So what's Project 2025? It's supposed to be Trump's grand blueprint for making America Trump-tastic again.
He went on about crowd size and how Biden is to blame for his crowds not being big, and then his teleprompter went out. I bet it's number 2, I really do. And this is an interesting twist. Trump says it wasn't him who tried to overturn the election, even though they have him on tape doing just that. It was them.
They rigged the election.
The old he who smelt it dealt it defense.
You know, because apparently we didn't get enough greatness the first time around. It's packed with all sorts of conservative ideas and traditional values that would make a bald eagle cry red, white, and blue tears of joy, or so they say. But here's the kicker. Our favorite orange turd claims he knows nothing about it. That's right, folks. When asked about Project 2025 during a debate, Trump said, "I know nothing about Project 2025. It's like watching a chef forget he has a secret sauce, or a peacock forget it has feathers." Our buddy Jimmy Kimmel couldn't resist poking fun at this monumental brain fart. Kimmel, in his usual style, compared Trump's forgetfulness about Project 2025 to forgetting one has a comb over. Now, that's a mental image we didn't need, but hey, here we are. Can you imagine Trump waking up one day, looking in the mirror and going, whoa, when did that happen? Actually, on second thought, maybe that's how we ended up with that hairdo in the first place. But wait, it gets better. Kimmel, clearly on a roll, decided to take it up a notch. He quipped that Trump not knowing about Project 2025 is like Colonel Sanders forgetting about fried chicken. Can you imagine the Colonel walking into KFC and asking, "What's all this greasy bird stuff?" That's basically what Trump did with his own plan. Now, this whole situation leaves us with a burning question. Is Trump playing dumb, or is he genuinely unaware of his own plans? It's like trying to figure out if a toddler really doesn't know who drew on the walls, or if they're just pretending. Except in this case, the toddler is a 77-year-old man who wants to run the country. Again. Think about it. If Trump can forget about an entire project designed to reshape America, what else might slip his mind? The nuclear codes, the fact that Alaska is part of the United States, his Twitter password? Actually, that last one might not be such a bad thing. It's almost impressive, really. Most politicians have to work hard to distance themselves from their unpopular policies. Trump, he just forgets them entirely. It's like political amnesia on steroids. Maybe that's his secret superpower, selective memory loss. When the going gets tough, the tough forget everything